Can you make a full-time living just shopping and buying from garage sales? That's something I want to dig into on this video today. Welcome back to the channel. I'm Eric. If you're new to the channel, I'm a full-time reseller. Been a full-time reseller for about 20 years now. I own a brick and mortar vintage store in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. It's called BC Modern. We were voted the best vintage store in Milwaukee. Can you make a living, a full-time living, buying just from garage sales? Now, that can be challenging. I want to share some of my insights that I've learned over the last 20 years of being a full-time reseller. If that's a direction you want to go with being a reseller, it is very much something that can be done. But I think there are things that you should know before you try to commit to saying, hey, I just want to buy from garage sales to make my living. First things first, if you really plan on being successful as a reseller, it starts with the right mindset. Like that's where you have to start. The right mindset for myself and the way that I've been able to be successful in the reselling business, whether it's through my store or through eBay, it starts with product selection. It starts with what it is that you're buying and what you're looking for. That's where it actually starts. If you go into these garage sales or these rummage sales or yard sales with the philosophy of looking for the bottom of the barrel all the time. Now, I'm not saying you shouldn't look for things that are, really cheap or, have lower profit margins, especially if you can turn them fast. You have to go into these situations understanding that this is the closest that some people will get to actually buying directly from estate owners or collectors. I owned an auction company that has allowed me to build also a company that allows me to buy directly from private estates and collections. I'm pretty much in essence a competitor to like an estate sale company. They're going to go in and say, we'll give you 30% or, we'll sell your stuff and we'll take a percentage. I'm going to go in and say, I'll buy everything and we'll deal with the good and the bad. Now, that's how I primarily am able to get bulk deals. But for a lot of resellers, garage selling, yard sales, rummage sales, that's going to be the closest thing you're going to get to actually buying directly from the estate owner or the person who was owning the item or the family that owned the items. Garage sales, you have to learn to go into them with the right mentality of understanding the magnitude of what you have access to. You have access to people's homes, people's families' belongings, people's collections. And with that being said, you really want to pay attention to the things that are there and try to maximize your time when you're there by buying the right things, not just buying them because they're $1 or they're cheap. Can you make a full-time living buying just from garage sales? I think you absolutely can. I do think that it takes some planning for success to actually make something like that happen. And that starts with understanding the different kinds of sales that you're going to see when you start to look for garage sales. You're going to see garage sales. You're going to see flea markets. You're going to see liquidation sales. You're going to see moving sales. Understanding what to expect at these different sales will help you to strategize on where you need to be, what side of town you need to be on, if you need to be leaving your area to go to other areas to shop for very specific things based on whatever it is that you sell and your margins that you're trying to hit. That's how you can become successful, by strategizing and knowing what these sales will offer and what to expect, and knowing where to spend your time and where not to, kind of waste your time. Do not be afraid to go outside of your area to source for, citywide, neighborhood-wide, multifamily, that kind of stuff. Like if you've never done the world's largest yard sale, I think that's what they call it, the Highway 127 sale. I did it one year and it was a blast. That's the kind of stuff that, you want to be a part of if you're trying to really kind of level up your business. Now, I'm not saying you got to go to the Highway 127 sale. I think that's what it's called. If I'm calling it the wrong thing, drop it in the comments and let me know. If you've been to that sale, drop it in the comments, let me know. For myself, I'm always in the perpetual motion of buying and selling. So to me, that tells me that if things are being sold in a certain area, it is my job to figure out what's being sold, what to expect, when it's going to happen, that kind of stuff. And the same thing applies with garage sales, yard sales, rummage sales, and the good one is church sales. If you can, like church sales, usually you can hit some home runs at church sales. So do not sleep on church sales. Garage sales allow you to buy in bulk. Understanding the psychology behind most people that are putting garage sales together, unless they are actually trying to run a business from the garage. Now, you'll see that too, where people are running them continuously. And it appears that they are basically, they have a store attached to their house. It's kind of what it comes down to. But the psychology that most people have when they put out things for a garage sale is they want the stuff gone. They don't want to take it back in the house. They don't want to put it back in the box. So the potential of you to buy in bulk is huge when you're at a garage sale, especially if you're seeing things of interest for, you know, your resale business. So keep that in mind when you go to these places. But again, don't go in there just grabbing any and everything thinking like, oh, one day I'm gonna sell this. Like we really are trying to get focused for 2024. Well, this is where I'm at mentally, but I want other people to start to focus as resellers on actually what it is that they're buying, not just buying things just because they're cheap. That is very easy for us to do, and you'll end up with a lot of stuff. You end up with a lot of stuff. That means you need to store it somewhere. You're just not. I can. That's a whole nother video. You know, you want to be more strategic in understanding that it is okay to pass on things that may not sell right away, or things that have a lower profit margin or don't hit a benchmark profit margin that you set for yourself. It's okay to pass on those things because the world is so abundant and plentiful that if you keep going, you will eventually find the things that you look for. It sounds very cliche, and I'm sure people are like, whatever, dude, I'm gonna keep buying and doing this. I'm speaking from personal experience. Um, Buying, switching my mindset to that kind of mindset, and being okay with passing and walking away on things that didn't hit certain criteria for me has transformed my business. It allows me to be able to talk to you about the things that we're talking about and not have any worry about someone saying or questioning what I'm talking about, because I got data to prove it. I think if people can start to really understand that the world is really abundant, and if you are selective with the things that you buy and sell, it can really make this a very enjoyable business and profitable business. And that's what we're trying to do here, is show others how to do it. I wake up every day happy to do my job. My wife wakes up every day happy to do her job. You guys hear the birds? You hear the birds. That means spring's coming. Garage sale season's coming. You know, garage sales, it's just a good chance for you to buy in bulk. If you can buy in bulk, you can change your ROI, your cost of goods changes by spreading it out over a certain amount of items. Usually when I'm garage selling, and this is how I resell in general, I don't like to count a per piece buy, sell. Is it important to pay attention to those things? Yes, but I'm buying at such a volume that sometimes it actually comes down to how many pieces did I get and how much did I pay for all of it. That's a good way to break things down. If you're buying quality pieces, that will become a lot easier, because you can say like, oh, I spent $2,000, but I got 25, really good pieces. That's the kind of philosophy that I'm trying to, convey. Buy in bulk. Another thing that you should understand if you plan on making a full-time living by buying from garage sales is what I call the squirrel philosophy. And this is something that really applies to me in the Midwest, because we have winter and fall months. And that is around a time of the year where no one's calling me really to come buy out estates during those times of year. The same applies for garage sales. It's seasonal. So during the months that you can get things, I liken myself to a squirrel, where I'm just out here just gathering nuts. And I keep gathering nuts all year round. all the time. And I bring them to my BC Modern Depot, the space we're in right now. Before this space, it was other spaces. But the point is, I'm gathering nuts all year round to bring to my little hub. And I do that for the months where there's nowhere for me to gather nuts, or the gathering slows down. So I still can buy estates in the wintertime. I can still get into homes to find things in the wintertime. So my business keeps going. But for somebody that's trying to make a full-time living just off of buying at garage sales and things that are available when it's warmer, you're going to probably want to do this philosophy where you're going to probably want to act like a squirrel and gather nuts as long as you can afford to buy and sell um, during those times. So like I still will sell things, or I would still suggest that you sell things during the summer months, even when people historically say, oh, well, it's slow during this time. Yes, it's slow selling, but it's good buying. So you got to balance the two out, because nobody has unlimited money, nobody has unlimited space. So you still got to balance those two out. You're supposed to be a beast out here getting stuff and putting it away in your hub, or your little squirrel nest. What do they call a squirrel nest? Is it just a squirrel nest? What do they call that? And you have to learn to make the most of garage sale opportunities too, because this is your chance to talk with somebody about the things that you're seeing. That conversation could potentially lead to something else, finding out that they have other things, or just finding out, information that will help you sell the items that you're buying from them. I'm not the kind of person that's going to go around and um, hold up a sign, hey, I'm a reseller, I'm a reseller. But if you ask me, I'm going to gladly tell you that. I'll tell you what I do for a living. I might even have a company shirt on. So don't be afraid to tell people that you are a reseller. Sometimes that will lead to, and I say sometimes, but there's a good percentage of the times that will lead to you actually being able to either get a better deal, or them finding more stuff to give to you. In your bulk purchasing. But the point is, treat people how they want to be treated. Respect people as a person. Don't look at them as they're there for you to make a living off of them, and insult them on their prices. Like, don't do that. Like, they are trying to make money too. So treat everybody how you would want to be treated, potentially lead to you actually getting a better deal or getting more stuff. And at the end of the day, it's just nice. Like, be be cool with people. There's no reason to be a jerk. It makes us all look bad. I want to round this out by saying that if you plan on trying to become a full-time reseller and make a living off of garage sales and flea markets and rummage sales and church sales, things of that nature, it's going to involve three very basic things: strategic sourcing, strategic storage, and strategic selling. You need those three things balanced to make sure that you can become sustainable. If you've been thinking about whether you could actually make a living doing just garage selling, that's my 2 cents on it. And I hope that, it makes sense. I hope it helps somebody. If you like the video, please give me that thumbs up, subscribe. If you've got anything else to add to the video, please drop it in the comments. You can find me also on Instagram and Facebook and TikTok, Eric the Vintage Hunter. You want to follow my shop, it's BC Modern MKE on Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video. You know how it goes. We'll see you on the next one. It's like the bonus scene right here. Before you go, I need you to drop in the comments, what's the best thing you found at a garage sale? And what did you pay for it? What did you sell it for? If you sold it. But just drop it in the comments. What was the best thing you found at a garage sale? I'm curious.